Okay, everyone, I don't typically do videos for YouTube, but I know with this truck being so new, everybody's kind of looking forward to it and got questions. It is pouring rain here, so I am not running it tonight, unfortunately, but I will be tomorrow, I think. So there's going to be plenty of unboxing videos. I don't need to do that for everyone. I think there's going to be plenty of those, so I'm just going to give you some kind of quick thoughts on here. And I actually have a couple questions people can give me feedback on. So overall, though, first impression, like it a lot. It's got a good, nice weight to it. This XXL platform is new to me. But overall, first impression, shocks compared to the Slash I have are huge. Has a nice feel to it. I do think that the shock oil for me and how I typically drive is a little too thin. I'd like to see that rebound slow down a little bit, especially after watching all the trailers where every time it seems to hit a kicker, the rear end just wants to flip up. So that shouldn't be a big deal to fix. I'm not really too worried about that. I think the only magical thing, if anybody knows, is what shock weight is in there by default. So anyway, no big deal there. Got the gas-powered motor sitting in there. Everything looks like it's set up nice. All they had to do, I think, was change the chassis just a little bit where it bolted in, so not a big deal. One of my questions, I guess, that I can ask for everybody as I take a look at this right now. So we've got your receiver box, we've got the cord for the receiver battery. Underneath here, this is just how it is, but I wish it wasn't. So I bought an extra receiver battery. Probably figure I'll run 2 tanks. I don't know if I'll risk a third per battery. So you got to unscrew the receiver battery out. But when I was routing the wires, I ran the receiver wire cord up and out, right down in here. Seemed like an okay spot. I wish this wire was just a touch longer. It's kind of tight. I'll have to really get my fingers in there to unplug it. It seems okay, but if you guys have any comments about a better way to route the wires, wanted to be careful. It's probably hard to see in there, but you've got the balancing plug kind of bent in there, so with the exposed chassis, in the perfect condition, something might get hit. We'll have to see. Another thing, and I know there's probably a better way to do this, I just did it for right now, is wasn't the servos. The twin servos are not aligned correctly from the factory. They were off, so I adjusted the holder, and I don't think my phone's going to focus on here. Let me try. I'm just using an iPhone. So right in here, I loosened the nut and kind of pulled the rod manually back a little bit just to make the tires even. I'll do some research on the correct way to do those later. But, you know, that's what I did. So, again, there's a couple videos already out there. I'm going to show you a lot of information. One of the things I haven't seen people doing too much is going over one of the nice features of Losi included, which is the AVC, which is in here. The controller comes with it, the DX2E. Fine for what it is, but wow, this trigger is really, really light. I don't like that, at least for my hand. When it's that light, it makes precision driving a little harder. You know, granted, that's coming from me doing most of my driving on a brushless two-wheel drive short course truck, my Slash. So throttle control is really important, so we'll see how that works out. It does make me realize, though, that if I do buy an upgraded Spectrum radio someday, stick with the AVC, I need to get one with an adjustable throttle spring. This button right here controls your AVC all the way off, all the way on, controls both throttle and steering. So let's take a look at that real quick. So I'll turn the controller on, receiver box, about as easy as it gets. I'll give it a second here until we hear the servos click on, so there they go. So right now at this point, with no other inputs, the truck has a locked in home position. So if I was driving and I got kicked, the AVC senses it and it's trying to correct. Hopefully you guys can see that. So it's making steering adjustments to try to correct it as it goes, which, you know, I think that's a pretty cool feature. Is it needed in this truck? I don't know. Once I get the brake-in done, I'll probably do a lot of my driving with it off and just see. Because honestly, that would be a really good feature for my Slash. I think that belongs in a two-wheel drive short course truck a lot more than it belongs right here. Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing, but I'm not so sure that I feel like I actually need it. So anyway, that might be a bonus there for me to swap out. I'll shut this off. So, other than that, I'm trying to think if there's really too much else I noticed. I went through, kind of just tightened up all the screws, just None of them were loose. A couple of them weren't as snug as I'd like. The oil filter to me was too oiled, so I kind of damped it off just a little bit with a paper towel. I did on the wheels, and again, this might be par for the course, I don't know. I don't know if you can see in there, but there are little Allen head screws. There's 6 of them that actually hold like the hubcap on. And below that is your, I think it's a 20 millimeter hex head. I went to take a look and see if those were Loctited on. When I went to take it off, it was so tight. I mean, I could have got it off, but I just felt with how tight it was, there was really no reason to take it off. Especially if something gets loose in there, I'll be curious what happens if it gets loose, but with this cover on. So for now, I think I'm fine. I'm not too worried about it, especially for the slower break-in driving. So, you know, other than that, the only other thing I'm going to do, now that I think about it, so on the lower needle, Todd posted a comment right here. I think from the factory it's 20 hours out, and they said that's been making them kind of run a little warm, it's letting the temp get too high, which while we're talking about that, don't temp here. I'm going to be temping right here down by the Dynamite logo. So anyway, he said you can turn it out as far as 26 hours, so I'm just going to play it easy, split it in the middle, and turn it out 24. I mean, that's not in the middle, 23 is the middle, but I'm just going to do 24, see how it idles and runs. Other than that, I don't think there's much else to say. Feel free to post in the comments and or on any of the forums out there any comments or thoughts you guys have. Thanks for watching.